Normally I would open this up with some sort of like recent comic book news or comic book discourse, but I had a final exam this week, so I'm a little out of the loop. Been getting really into Star Trek lately. Accidentally found a collection of fanzines, so that was pretty fun. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Last Week in Comics, where I tell you about the last week in comics. Jesus Christ, I think I have fallen behind, finally, after a year of doing this show. I'm barely being able to keep up. I think my last two TikToks weren't even like comic related. They were about Star Trek, because I've been watching DS9. But anyway, let's get into the comic book releases. Starting off with the only two books out of this extremely long list that I have read. Let's talk about the big release for this week. Batman Static Beyond Issue 1. So this is a new miniseries. It's kind of following the same timeline as Batman Beyond, so you know my opinions on Batman. However, with like this added twist, because it does have a older Static Shock in it, and it kind of seems to be following a sort of what people presume the DC universe is like and how it treats Milestone, when that's not actually the case, and like Milestone is still technically their own universe. Like it's like the joint DC Milestone universe. Because we also see Icon in the book. He's teaming up with Superman and a couple other heroes who are like, part of them are from the Milestone books, the other part of them are from DC Comics, obviously. Only one I recognized was Big Barda, but I think it's cool and interesting. I want to like this book. I want everyone to support this book, because if this book does well, then that means that we can potentially get more Milestone books in the future. We could get a full reboot of Static. We can get Icon and Rocket back. I understand why DC Comics doesn't own Milestone. I don't want them to own Milestone, but I wish that they would be asking for Milestone to be making more stuff currently. I don't know. I feel like it's a really good idea to have specifically a comic book space that promotes Black comic book creatives, which is what Milestone has always been about. And it kind of sucks that, like, what we're getting is, like, oh, it's a Batman Beyond crossover. Oh, it's the Milestone miniseries that happened, like, a couple years ago, where it wasn't really amounting to anything and didn't really have a lot of the same vibes as the Milestone books that makes them so enjoyable. I don't know. Static Shock is easily one of their most popular cartoons. I don't know why DC isn't asking constantly, hey, can we have a Static ongoing, like, happening constantly? Because, like, people still talk about that fucking show to this day. Anyway, and that's kind of what this crossover feels like. It's like, oh, these two had very popular cartoons around the same time. Let's put them together. Although the reason that Batman Beyond is popular is not the same reason that Static Shock is popular. Because Static Shock was actually good. I don't fucking like Bruce Timm. That sounds super unrelated, but it is related. I would really like to see a future version of Milestone. I feel like Milestone's one of those properties that, like, is very, like, hard set in the time that it was created, so to, instead of having, you know, what current comic books are kind of doing, where a lot of characters stagnate at certain ages, having a Static that is older is super appealing to me. I loved all the Static parts of this book. The problem is that it's also fucking Batman Beyond, and I hate Batman Beyond with a burning passion. And if you're wondering why do you hate Batman Beyond? Everyone likes Batman Beyond. I like women. I'm not a raging misogynist. So that kind of explains things. I don't know how many of you have read the Batman Beyond Extended Universe stuff, but that shit does not treat Barbara Gordon correctly. I often at times that I think that Terry McGinnis is like female love interest. I think that she's more just like arm candy, and it especially feels like that in this book. But, like, I don't blame the book for that. I blame the television show for that. I've honestly given Batman Beyond more chances than I probably should have, and it's disappointed me about every single time. So, do I think you should pick it up? Yes, of course I do. I know that a lot of people are picking it up because of Batman Beyond. And that's why it sucks, because I do not want more Batman Beyond comics. I don't think that we should be continuing to make Batman Beyond comics. I think we need to move the fuck on and realize that the real Batman the real Batman successor is fucking Cassandra Cain. And this fucking universe does not have a Cassandra Cain, which means it automatically sucks. I feel like I don't like the fact that, like, in order for us to potentially get more static stuff, we have to, in turn, also sacrifice our newborn child to Batman Beyond and Bruce Timm. That's all I have to say about it. I do think that genuinely you should pick it up, especially if you want more from the Milestone universe, but, like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, next up on my list, Supergirl issue 7. So this one, I did in fact read. I've been keeping up with the Supergirl series. This one is just, like, a cute little Thanksgiving special. Like, it does, I know that, like, a lot of people are, like, one of the major criticisms of Supergirl is that it does read a bit childish, and I will say that this issue specifically falls more into that category, because it is, at least in part, explaining to Leslar the, like, horrid history of Thanksgiving. But also, I don't think that that's the book's fault. Or no, I don't think that that's the author's fault. I think it's, like, I think it's DC's fault, because, like, I gotta pull up that tweet by Sophie Campbell, but she basically said, like, I'm trying to put as much queer baiting into Supergirl as I possibly can, because it seems like, it seems that because of James Gunn's misogyny and Tom King being a fucking war criminal misogynist, that's the real thing blocking Kara from being queer. It's the fact that they're gonna adapt Women of Tomorrow. Like, that's the only fucking reason. Because, like, even with Supergirl, like, with Supergirl 2015, like, that show, the CW Supergirl, it did feel like they were slowly building to eventually Kara's gonna kiss a woman. And then it just kind of ended, and now we're back to this, like, kind of more childish version of Supergirl that I don't even think Sophie Campbell wants to write, but we have to do it because James Gunn doesn't want to cast a woman over 30. That's honest to God the reason why we're stuck. Or no, James Gunn doesn't want to cast a woman over 25 to play Kara. That is legitimately the only reason we're being stuck with this kind of shit. And I wish more people would realize that. Like, I get it. Comics can exist in a vacuum. Comics can exist in their own vacuum. But right now, because of the adaptation market, because of all these movies being made, they do not exist in a vacuum. A lot of the poor decisions that we are being seen, or that are being made, are not because the writers are bad themselves, but because editorial's fucking stupid. And I need people to get that through their mind. Do I still like Supergirl by Sophie Campbell? Yes, it's an adorable book. I am glad. I wish that it was just aimed more at the preteen audience that they want for this book. Or that they're trying to aim for with this book. And I kind of wish that Sophie Campbell would be allowed to write that older Kara that she clearly seems to be gunning for. It was a cute issue. I just, like, I was thinking about it and I was like, man, it's all fucking James Gunn's fault because he doesn't like women over 25. Okay, now we're just gonna read, there was a lot of fucking books, so we're gonna split off the Batman ones into their own sort of list. There's an actual good book that you should read. Of course, Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum? Yeah, Spectrum. Issue 4 came out, where they introduced basically Superman's version of Batmite, which I think is fun. I think that the series has been fun. Mxyzptlk is not a Superman imp.
No, there's a second Superman imp.
I'm talking about the Superman imp.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I was not talking about Mxyzptlk. I was talking about the Superman imp. Yeah, there's a Superman imp now. Super imp. I guess. I don't know what his actual name is. I've been too busy to read comics this week, and I'm also starting a major project for this channel, so we're running on fumes, baby! But yeah, of course this is like an alternate universe, so it's Black Label. It's not canon. I don't see them bringing this into canon, But Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum has been a really good book, and so I highly recommend that you check it out if it seems interesting to you. It does seem to, like, I feel like a lot of DC books doesn't let any of its heroes age past 35, and the Kryptonite special is, in part, Superman dealing with a lot more, like, I wouldn't say, like older adult topics, where, like, Lois, like, at points was like, I've been wasting most of my life, and if you're not gonna marry me, then, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I think that's fucking insane to put in a book where you also have Super Imp and, Superman turning into Superboy. Like, crazy. It's really good. I recommend you check it out. Me not being able to read it in time to do this show does not mean that the book is bad. It just means that I personally am fucking busy as hell. Speaking of bad books, though, let's talk about the 2 Jeremy Adams books that released this week. So, I did hear more about Green Lantern Corps, so I'm gonna start with that. So, Green Lantern Corps issue 10 came out. So, good news. Jeremy Adams is not on that book anymore. Morgan Hampton has fully taken it over now. I do think that they're still wrapping up some of the storylines that Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams started together, because it is kind of dealing with that cliffhanger that we saw in the last. I don't remember if it was Green Lantern or if it was this book, but it was one of the two. So we're wrapping up that. Fucking Jon Stewart's love interest is back, and she's just there now. She's also not the same, so they're not technically married anymore. It's complicated, and I cannot wait until they get past this arc, because hopefully this book starts getting good. I doubt it will, though. I don't know, most of these issues is just, like, raging misogyny in the book, and then, like, oops, we have too many characters, and this is mostly going to be a Jon Stewart book, when, for all accounts and purposes, Jon Stewart deserves his own book to deal with his own issues. I don't know why DC's so against giving Jon Stewart his own fucking book again. Literally your most popular Green Lantern. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but what about Hal Jordan? What about Hal Jordan? What about him? There was, like, at least, like, a solid, like, 2 decades where people just thought that the only Green Lantern was Jon fucking Stewart. Hal Jordan's never fucking had that. even when Hal Jordan was the only Green Lantern being published, he didn't have that. Let's be honest here. I hope that Green Lantern Corps starts getting good, at least when they get past this. I think Green Lantern Corps is at its best when it does not deal with Jon Stewart. I think, because, like, everything Jon Stewart's doing kind of deserves its own book in its own room, versus, like, having it happen all in Green Lantern Corps means that he also has to deal with the bullshit of everyone else, and, like, I think that's unfair to Jon Stewart. I think that he should have his own book again. I think if you can literally publish, hold on, let me count. If you can literally publish 7 Batman books in the same week, then I think Jon Stewart deserves to... I feel like Jon Stewart deserves his own Green Lantern book. That's my main complaint. And then, speaking of stuff that Adams is actually fucking working on, god damn it, it's a DC KO tie-in. Aquaman issue 11 came out. Jeremy Adams, Aquaman, has been so misogynistic to the point where how the fuck are you only gonna have one Wonder Twin? How are you only going to have the boy Wonder Twin who can turn into water, but not his superior sister? That's how fucking misogynistic Jeremy Adams is. What the fuck do you mean the other Wonder Twins out there? And I thought for a second, maybe I'm just like fucking dumb and I can't tell which Wonder Twin's which. But no, it legitimately is just the male one. This book fucking sucks. Dear God, no one's happy with it. I hope it ends. I hope it ends soon. I think Aquaman deserves better than this. Give fucking Jackson Hyde a book instead. Okay, I feel like I need to balance this out by telling you books that you should actually be reading. So Mr. Terrific Year 1 just ended. Issue 6 just came out this week. Again, if you want to buy this book, I highly recommend you wait till next month when the trade is out. It's a really good story, especially if you are coming off the Superman movie and want an easy place to start for Mr. Terrific and don't want to read all of JSA 1999. Like, it's a very good starting point. It gives a lot more into his origin than I think JSA did. And overall, it's a great read. I will say consistently one of the benefits of Superman, or of the DCU currently, is that a lot of these lesser characters are getting books greenlit in order to match the movies. But they're not movie versions of but they're not adapting the movies themselves. They're just getting new books. Like, we had the Metamorpho series, and even though I don't like Al Ewing, it was cool that Metamorpho got a mini-series. We had Hawkgirl 2 years back by Josiah Axelrod, which is phenomenal, and I really think that you should check it out. We, of course, had Blue Beetle Graduation Day that coincided with that movie, that then got turned into a short-lived ongoing, which is sad, and I wish that Jaime would get more books. And then now you have Mr. Terrific Year 1, and I think I'm glad that this book exists. I'm pretty sure I bought all the issues. I will be reading them all, hopefully soon. I'm so behind on everything in life. And also another book that you should go check out, Poison Ivy's 2025 annual came out. Poison Ivy, the book series, has been really good. This is like turning into a must-read comic. There's a reason that it's been going on for like almost almost 3 years now? How long has fucking Poison Ivy? It's been like 2022? This book has been going on for fucking ever. It's a great series. I'm so glad that this book exists. I heard that the annual was pretty good from Daystar. I need to fucking actually catch up to it, but I am so fucking behind in everything. And then I'm also doing a separate fucking like series now that you will find out by the end of this video. I know I'm being super fucking vague about it, but I've been literally going to multiple places today trying to fucking plan this thing. Like, it's not gonna be as big as the White Wingfoot video essay. That shit's fucking nuts. But like, this one, I have invested a lot into it. But anyway, go read Mr. Terrific Year 1. Go read Poison Ivy by G. Willow Wilson, the fucking goat of comics. These next couple ones, I do not really have opinions on it, so I'm just gonna kind of read them off. Court Children of the Round Table issue 3 came out. That is the Tom Taylor mini series. Maybe it's 12 issues. I don't know. It's a children's comic. Pick it up for your kids, I guess. I've been hearing good things about it. Then we have Action Comics 1092. They're still doing the Superboy Adventures of Superman when he was a boy. So if you're into that shit, it's still Mark Waid on it. He's fucking everywhere. You can't escape him anymore. Then we're just gonna list off a bunch of fucking Batman books. So we have Little Batman Month 1. That's a series with Damian as a child. Batman Dark Patterns issue 12. I don't know what the fuck that is, actually. It's just another fucking Batman ongoing. Of course it fucking is. Then we have Batman and Robin issue 27. I do think that I have officially dropped this book completely. I just really don't like the way that it treats Damian and Talia. I think it has a lot of racist, or it decides to go with the racist origins, and I don't care for that. Next up, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, a League for Justice. I don't think that this should count as a Batman, but like, it is a Batman. It's the Gotham by Gaslight series. If you like it, you like it. If you are interested, I recommend reading it. I've been hearing it's super good. And then we have Batman 162. So I feel like this one deserves a little bit of an explanation, because I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean Batman 162? I thought we were on a new Batman volume with Matt Fraction. Jeff Loeb, that racist piece of shit, is so bad at meeting deadlines that Hush 2 has now dragged out past the beginning of Matt Fraction's run. Like, it was supposed to be Hush 2 ends, and then Batman number 1 relaunches. The Batman title resets the number, and is a new starting point. Jeff Loeb was so fucking bad, and it is Jeff Loeb. It's not Jim Lee. Because you think if Jim Lee knew that it was going to take him this long, as one of the heads of DC, he would be able to kind of mix things up and move things around. But no, it is Jeff Loeb who is the problem on this one. He has taken so long that now we have 2 fucking books titled just Batman. I don't know why they fucking rehired that racist piece of shit. Okay, don't fucking read Hush 2. It's bad on top of just being unnecessary. I also just overall think that not even Batman fans like Hush. So, like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then last one, Batman Justice Buster. This is a, like, webcomic that DC puts out. I don't know. It's probably good. I just don't fucking read Batman. Alright, now we are going to move on to the indie comics. Okay, starting off with Image. If you like Dan Mora, I know that a lot of people are like, he has same face syndrome. I don't care. He is currently working on the Transformers series. Transformers issue 26 just came out. Let me just say, I think that, like, he has, like, a very special talent for drawing mechas. If you've seen his work on Power Rangers, you know that he's fucking great at, like, action like that. And so to see him work on another children's property like Transformers, I like it. I like it. It's simple as that. They say, I like it. They keep coming back. Oh, wait. fucking interlude the fucking clip of Sophia just fucking blasting her mic. It's my tried and true saying, if you know that you have a favorite artist or writer at DC, go check out their indie work. Dan Mora's probably being paid a lot more for this book than he is fucking anything DC's putting out. Let's be honest here. So go check out Transformers. The Transformers books have been amazing. Especially if you like Transformers, like, 1 that recently came out. Like, you will have fun with the Transformers books. Okay, now we're moving on to my favorite indie publisher, IDW. IDW, sponsor me. I want to talk about Star Trek books. I say this when I haven't not kept up with fucking Lower Decks. That's on me, though. So, from IDW, just a couple of the ones I think you should definitely check out. Their Godzilla books have always been very consistently good. So, Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone, issue 4. And, of course, I know that she's coming in. Sam from Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is coming in for DCKO. So, if you, like, the only tie-in comic you should actually read for DCKO is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, and its sequel series, Rite of Spring, issue 4 just came out. It's super good. I like it. I don't normally like horror comics like this, but I feel like because of how kind of, like, joyous the world is, I tend to react to it better. I wish I wasn't doing this series so I could just, like, review miniseries all the time, but, like, I am also, like, so extremely busy that it's just, if I don't have, like, a tight deadline like this, I'm not gonna fucking do it. Okay, so I see 2 Star Trek books, and I know I've been talking about how, I've been getting really into Star Trek lately. I really like DS9. I fucking hate Strange New Worlds, because I have this theory that, like, the straighter Star Trek gets, the worse it gets. Like, the most popular ship from Enterprise is T'Pol and Trip, which is a straight ship. And no one fucking likes Enterprise. So, like, what are we doing here? That's the problem with Strange New Worlds. Okay, like, at least with the Kelvin timeline, they, A, said that they were their own separate thing, and B, kind of rebooted and restarted the interest in Star Trek fanfiction specifically. Strange New Worlds, on the other hand, how the fuck do you make Spock straight? And so they have, like, a comic series coming out, and it's like, what the fuck? Why do you, as a thing that is existing where, like, you saw the Cage, and you went, what if we had more of the Cage? Which, first of all, who sees the Cage and says that? The Cage is not good. Or the fucking Menagerie, which is just the Cage split up into 2 episodes for some goddamn reason. The cage is not fucking good. I don't know who tricked anyone into believing that the cage was good. There's a reason why they decided to just, like, put Pike off to the side like that. There's a fucking reason. So I don't know why they need also a comic book. The only good thing from fucking Strange New Worlds is Uhura, which is true of most things. Anyway, if you want to actually go read Star Trek comics that should exist, go read Star Trek Lower Decks issue 13. Boimler is confirmed bisexual in this issue, actually. There's always the implication that he is. This one was a little bit more explicit about it, and, like, the whole theory that, like, everyone's bisexual in the future. In the Star Trek future, if a character is not explicitly said to be anything, more likely than not, they're bisexual. Everyone's a little bisexual in the future, except for, you know, people who are explicitly lesbians. But yeah, anyway, go read the Lower Decks comics. The next issue that's coming out is all about T'Lyn, which is very fun for me, because T'Lyn comes in so late into Lower Decks, but she's honestly, like, she's, like, the final missing piece of the group. And I wish we got more of her. I wish we got more Lower Decks in general, which is why I'm so excited that the comic book exists. Unlike fucking Strange New Worlds. Fuck you, Strange New Worlds. Why the fuck is Spock straight? Okay, good. There is one thing that, one piece of news I do want to talk about, which is there was a Q&A with Scott Snyder, you know, who's kind of headlining the current Absolute. There was a Q&A session with Scott Snyder, who is heading the Absolute books, and there was a couple things that were said there that I find very interesting. So first off, that the Absolute Batman and Wonder Woman crossover will be self-contained, that Snyder wants more women and writers of color in the industry, which is, it's very great that at least some head of DC is thinking that way, because right now there is a severe lack of that within the company. But the two big things are, one, something that we all kind of, like, felt through the Absolute universe, but it's nice to see someone explicitly say that Wonder Woman is the lead of the Absolute universe. It's really great to have at least a division in DC that sees Wonder Woman for the absolute icon she is. There's a reason she was an ambassador to the UN. A fictional character. This one is interesting to me specifically because I have not been keeping up with Absolute Batman. Absolute Poison Ivy is going to start her arc soon. And I've been asking for Absolute Poison Ivy for a while, because she also is the one that proves my theory. Are the female villains of Batman allowed to be a little bit fucked up, or is it just the men? You can have both with Poison Ivy. You know? So I'm like, I want to see what happens with this one. I really like the Absolute universe. It's been fucking great. Also in Star Trek news, which apparently I'm just going to segue into, apparently Paramount's fucking making a new movie. They have yet to learn their fucking lesson of anything. Because it does seem like they're trying to reboot the fucking timeline again. And it's like, unless you find someone like Abrams who is very explicitly like, no, we're not in the main Star Trek timeline. This has nothing to do with the main Star Trek timeline. We are our own separate thing, and we will play in our universe as we see such. Like AOS or AOS / the Kelvin timeline was clearly made by a fan of Star Trek in a way that I don't think that Strange New Worlds is. Like, Strange New Worlds feels like it's made by, like, a product development board.
Yeah.
Because no Star Trek fan has ever looked at the cage and went, I want more of that, actually. or the menagerie, depending on how you saw it. I think making a prequel series of what Cisco was getting up to, specifically with Curzon, anytime he mentions Curzon, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I want a prequel series of Cisco. Paramount, hire me to fix fucking Chakotay. Don't actually do that. Hire me for Julie Bashir. Please cut this out, Stack. I feel like every single decision that, like, Star Trek has been making currently, minus Lower Decks, like, Lower Decks feels like the last thing that Star Trek has done that, like, truly feels like it was made by fans and not by a decision board in Paramount Studios. Because, like, you have fucking things being in it. Like, I was rewatching an episode recently. I think it was the episode where they confirmed that the alternate universe Garrick and Bashir kiss. Where Garrick is a surgeon for Starfleet, and Julian Bashir is like a hologram, and Andrew Robinson and Alexander Siddig went back to voice those characters. Like, in that episode, they mentioned the Nexus, which is a play that Andrew Robinson and Alexander Siddig wrote to be performed at conventions, all about all about Bashir and Garrick and how they're in love. Like no Star Trek show since fucking Strange New Worlds has felt like honest to God, the people who made it like Star Trek. It always feels like, oh, I want to improve on Star Trek, and it's like, no, that's not how you should be making Star Trek. That's why I think TNG sucks. Why you have to be the next generation? Seems a little suspicious to me. Or like fucking Enterprise. No, Enterprise's problem is that it's straight, which is also Strange New World's problem. You know what Star Trek's good that is extremely gay? Lower Decks. I have been going to multiple Barnes & Nobles recently.
Not Barnes & Nobles.
Fuck. I've been going to multiple fucking half-price books. That's not a Star Trek book, that is a different thing that I will be reading later. But I've been going to multiple half-price books over the course of the past two days. I'm still not done officially yet. But I gotta get all of these out. And I'll clean it up, don't worry. But you see all of these? You see all of these? Deep Space Nine has an entire book series, an entire novel series.
And then some.
And then some. And then some. And I will be reading every single one of these and doing a review on them, Brian David Gilbert Halo style, okay? And you want to know the worst thing about this project that I have seemingly gotten myself into? Where the fuck are they? So one of the books, book 16, Time's Enemy, book 16 is actually a fucking multiple part series going over four separate book series, okay? So book 16 of Deep Space Nine is right here. In order to read that book, I have to read Star Trek Invasion, book 1, First Strike, which is issue 97 of TOS, or not issue 97, I'm still talking about comics, book 79 of TOS. Then I have to read my least favorite Star Trek series, quite frankly, TNG, Invasion Book 2, The Soldiers of Fear, which is book 41 in their series. Then I finally get to Deep Space Nine and their book, which is number 16 in the series, Time's Enemy. And then I have to read my least favorite one, or my second least favorite book, Star Trek Voyager, The Final Fury, which is the last in this whole series. And like a fucking ghost that haunts me, Chakotay's on the cover. Chakotay's on the cover. Do you see what I have decided to do? Do you see all of these, like, Deep Space Nine books that I have now came into possession of? Some of these aren't even in the series. This is The Lives of Dax, which we picked up because we like Dax, and it's about Dax. But look at all of this. Look at all of this. Look at this. Look at what I've decided to do for you. Did anyone ask for it? No, I'm a comic book channel, but I decided to do this. This is what a Julian Bashir obsession gets you. And this is the Kobayashi Maru. This is an Iron Man 2 book. This isn't supposed to be here. That's a separate thing. But yeah. Yeah, this is a series I'm doing. This is a thing I have decided to do. This one doesn't even have them in it. I should actually explain why I'm doing this. So, There is a book in this Deep Space Nine series called A Stitch in Time. It is written by Garrick's actor Andrew Robinson. And it is, again, Garrick wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Andrew Robinson, and specifically Andrew Robinson's choices to make Garrick gay. Okay, Garrick is an explicitly gay character, although they weren't able to say it in the text themselves because of how the showrunner for Star Trek at the time was extremely racist and homophobic, and sexist. Even though they couldn't say it at the time, that's how this character has always been played. Alexander Siddig, who plays Bashir, and Andrew Robinson have been very explicit about how they play these characters, and, we're finally able to make that a reality when Lower Decks came out and was able to do a multiverse episode and invited them back on to play Garrick and Bashir as an older gay couple, like how they wanted to. So I pre-ordered that. I didn't pre-order it. I ordered that book. That book cost me $80. And so I decided that I was going to turn it into a project where I was going to read every single Deep Space Nine book in the series and review them, all for my two favorite gay men, Garrick and Bashir. So that's coming up too. Will it be finished before or after the White Wingfoot video essay? I don't know. I'm a fast reader, but there is 27 books I have to get through. I don't think either Alexander Siddig or Andrew Robinson are going to see this, but I am doing this for you. I am also going to get a copy of The Nexus binded, and hopefully I will be able to get you to decide it. Bashir means a lot to me. Bashir means a little bit too much to me. For such a short period of time. I talk about him so much. He's been on my mind for days now. But yeah, with that announcement out of the way, just because that turned into much longer than I thought it would, up here, next recommended video, down here, rest of the playlist for Last Week in Comics. And if you're interested in my Deep Space Nine rant and are also all the other content I plan on making, the White Wingfoot video essay, how to get into collecting comics, probably something about all of the Star Trek fanzines we randomly stumbled across in our search of all of these Star Trek books, subscribe. I'm going to keep making content. I'm going to try and do more content because I really want this YouTube channel to do well. I like having it. I like talking to you guys. But I sometimes feel like I'm wearing myself thin. And hopefully this project will get me back on the right track. And cut.